And Grandpa Keen standing there with a wad of chewing tobacco in his cheek. That's the height chair that somebody's got. I don't know who got it now.
Looks kind of like Lenny.
Yeah, but that one, it could be. That was a nice house, it really is. It seemed big at the time we lived in it, but what? You go in them now and they're little. I can remember Mom laying us down on the workbench there and washing our head and giving us a bath when we were little.
Wow. So that's your parents' house?
Yeah, it's the farm Dad had that we started on. That's my sister and I. Oh, Jesus, we hated one another. Oh, Christ. Whoops. Well, that's as close as you could get us.
I thought it was Grandma at first, but then I'm like, why are you guys standing so far apart?
I think it was a confirmation deal. Dad tried to get us closer together. He says, they ain't going to bite one another there. That's my folks' 25th wedding anniversary. That must have been a bridal shower or something at our place.
What is that, 76? Is that a soda?
Mm-hmm. Must be. I don't know who any of them are outside of Connie over there. Yeah. Them all three, them two of her friends, I think. That was, Jesus Christ, they were heavy drinkers. Whoops.
Put back some sodas in there, Dan.
Yeah. My dad and Jimmy was the only grandson. There's 6 granddaughters and 1 grandson. This in here is dead. And that and over there is dead.
Okay.
They both. My sister's the mother to them. The mother, the 3, I don't know. This in here just went to work. Worked in a grocery store in Dodgeville, Dick's Market, and she went to work, just walked in the store and walked over to the desk where the cashiers met, and fell over dead right there. And this one here, her son was about 18 months old, and her husband just came home from work, and she had been in the living room shucking peas and watching TV, and she had a pizza in the oven for supper when her husband got home, and he come home, and the baby wasn't crying yet. He was in, I don't know, she had him in a crib then or not, but anyways, right after the dad walked in the house, but then he woke up. That's the way it was. And then she was laying dead, and the mother laying dead in the doorway of the house.
Yeah, I didn't know who any of these people were. I mean, aside from Grandma and Grandpa there, and Jim, and I think that looks like maybe Mary.
Yeah.
My mom.
Lenny.
Is that
Christy?
Lenny?
Yeah, and Christy.
That's Christy?
That's Janet, that's Dottie's kid. This is the one that died then, and this here is the one that's alive yet. He had 3 girls and 2 of them dead, and when the little one over there died, there's some paramedics right there, and they kept her alive until the doctors get there. They got some tests that they could run then, and they found out she had a heart weakness. and that they never did find out what was wrong with her. They had stuff in Milwaukee and all over for checking out and try to find out what was wrong. But they figured by what they found out on that little one was the same thing wrong with that, because they took some tests of her dad, and he's got that same weakness, and he's dead too now. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, he died of Lou Gehrig's disease. Oh, them. Is that Connie? Mm-hmm. I was going to say it almost looks like me, and then it didn't look like Connie from the... That would have been in the church in Monticello.
The 5 of them.
Huh?
That's just the 5 of them.
There's only 3 girls? No,
there's all 5 of them.
Was there?
Yeah.
Huh.
4 girls and Jim.
Well, that 4th one down there in the front is Lenny. Yeah, Lenny and Mary up on top, and Christy and Connie. See, Jim way back then, he ain't got as much hair as I got now.
I don't remember there being that many trees there.
Oh, there was quite a woods there, and when these all leaved out, why, it was back to the shed. This here is a conveyor, so you can put silage in from up here, run it down the conveyor, and then there's a feed bunk in this building here to feed them.
Is that a school bus?
No, chopper box. And there's another one over here. I don't know what the heck this is up here. Oh, there's a car. Uh-oh. There's the beginning of the end.
Fixing your tie.
It never was much of a smoocher back then.
No.
But kind of took to it after. I believe it was more or less after Charlene died that I got so many hugs, and it just rubbed right off on me. No, there's Charlene's cousin and his wife. She died. She smoked, and she had this bad lung disease, but she wasn't supposed to smoke. So they took that machine that makes oxygen, and they had a tube that would run any place in the house, a little plastic. And when she needed to smoke, she'd go in the bathroom, shut the door and open the windows and stick her head out the window. And she died of that stuff. And then he lived at west of Madison, where the Wisconsin River Bridge crosses over.
Pointet?
No, it's farther. Yeah, no, it's farther up. That where a lot of the people go for watching the eagles.
Is this Sun Prairie?
No. I don't know why I can't. We used to go up there quite often. But anyway, after a couple of years, you see, people our age, then we kind of kicked the bucket, you know. And so, living up, well, Badger Ordnance, what's that city up there where the Badger Ordnance was? And Sauk Prairie.
Was it Sauk Prairie?
Yeah.
All right. That was close.
Yeah. And anyway, then the places where he knew people, he'd go to visit, and they'd all be busy doing something else anyway, you know. And so he never got a chance to bond with anybody else. And one of his wife's sisters come over there one day, and here the neighbor must have called him. He went in the garage and he put the plastic down on the floor, and took a board and put behind the walkout door out of the garage, and set a chair there, and shot himself. And he says,
This guy?
yeah, that's Charlene's cousin, but he says he's gonna go up with Ma, and he's had one son, and he lived in Alaska, and they wanted him to come up there and live with them, and there was nothing up there, but he did like to go fishing and for salmon and stuff in the rivers up there, you know. Oh, why'd you ruin some space? That's Jimmy. They had when they had them pictures taken, Christy's got one that was taken at the same time, and the photographer kept throwing the ball for him to kind of get him to laugh. Christy got mad. He would never throw the ball to her, and she got the poutiest picture. Who the heck is in the tub? Oh, that? I bet you that was down the... I want to say down where her mother lived, but I don't know. It looks almost like the farm, too, but... And that looks almost like Dwayne over on this side, huh? Mm-hmm. But it was something with porch or something with railings on like that, and we never had anything like that.
That's how people took a bath back then? What do you do in the winter time?
Oh, is that the... well, it looks like there's snow back there, don't it?
There's leaves on the trees.
Uh-huh. Down here? Like that?
It does look like snow. It might just be overexposed film.
What's this, a dog?
No, that's another kid. He's looking off this way.
Looks like he's barking like a wolf or something. You know, there's a top nose.
Huh.
Gosh, I can't think of where the heck that would have been taken if it wouldn't have been down the Charlene's mother's place. But I doubt that. It looks like it's on some kind of a porch or some skids or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you don't know who those two are?
No.
Off the top of your head?
No, you can delete that if you want. That's one of the... Dickie, he's the one that just passed away not too long ago.
A buddy of yours?
Charlene's brother, one of the twins.
Is that the other one?
The other one's dead too.
Well, we saw me and Dwayne.
Yeah.
Billy
I
down
see.
here.
Yeah. That he's dead too. I never paid much attention to that. Yeah, that's Bill. He died, and his wife never knew a thing of Bill's family. She never knew he had any sisters or any of that stuff. They went up to the funeral, and they met his wife then up at above Dell's or someplace. Boston, and Charlene and Cliff and Ruth, and I don't know if Pauline went along, Pauline and Bill, but I didn't go. I guess I had some ground ready to plant corn, and so I stayed home. But they ran across to her, and she explained everything to him, and that he'd never mentioned anything that he had any sisters or brothers. So he wasn't very proud of his family, neither, like your brother. Right? Get the hell out of here, so I don't have to look at him too much. Oh, here I am, kind of using my free language again. You got two windows like that in the kitchen?
No, this is in the living room. These windows went all the way across the
wall.
wall.
I see, yeah.
There's another couple
that could
over
be
here.
then.
Because there's a shelf right there underneath those windows too. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure that's Denise.
Yep. My dad had one of them little ones. And that would have been taken, I'm pretty sure, over on the lower farm of the folks. Davenport reminds me of it. See, this is a kind of water pails we had back then. We'd have to go out to the pump and pump it by hand. And if these chips that porcelain or whatever's on them chipped off, then it wouldn't take too long at all. That would rust out because the water had so much iron in it. Boy, that water tasted like hell. And it was really rusty looking and everything, but lived through it.
You know who those are?
Connie and Lenny. There, I'm broke now. I don't know who this is. Doug Stevenson? Could be, yeah. I don't know. After which wedding that would have been. Can't see enough of them.
This is my mom.
Is it?
So
Probably was Lenny then. This is Marlon Seacott from Rockford. Sure. My mother.
what's she drinking there?
Schlitz. Sarlene's mom and dad. Hazel and Ed. Hazel Krieger and Ed Krieger.
Did you get along with them?
Well, did for a while. And then she started going with another guy in town after he died. She's single quite a while then. She's lived on the county for quite a while. And the county gal was trying to get rid of some of the daughters so they didn't have so much money to dish out in a month. And I think they kind of blackmailed me, get me to go to one of the daughters because they knew I farmed and the farmers had money back then, what she said, what they thought. Never went down there, but what her mother had a dust mop and a broom in her hand, just like living in filth and shit. She had the cleanest house in the country for what she had to work with. She didn't have nothing to work with. And the boys, all three of them, I think at one time 4 of them slept in one bed. They slept crossways in it, and the kids are small. The 2 twins and the other one, and then the one in Monroe, Pauline. She says you woke up at night with wet sheets. And one or the other. The boys is always pissing the bed. Whoops. My mom and dad and Uncle Bert. That's the one that went to California first. He had asthma around here, so he going to California so he didn't have to suffer with it. And it wasn't any better out there than it was here, But he is all the time after his other 2 brothers to come out there. And he did. He got all 3 of them out there. One of them ended up someplace in California. And the other one, he worked in Lockheed. And the other, the short, fat one, he worked in shipbuilding in Oregon to start with, and he went out. And the other one, he says he'd stop and put in his application. Nope, you're too qualified. He says after they found out he was born or raised on a farm, they figured he was strong enough to be doing other work than sweeping the parking lot of A&W. My dad had more hair now than when he died too. Where the heck would that one?
It looks like it was taken right here at the table. Is that that door there? Yeah.
No, it could be, because we never lived in a place where there's any. Oh, I bet you that was out in California, because I see he's got a deck of cards in his hand. And this is, that would be Bethany, wouldn't it? So they have to be here. And we got that thing that your mother knitted there. So it had to have been here, partner.
You guys must have gotten a new door.
Yeah, we did.
It's not the same door.
We put in the steel insulated door then, This here we put in since we bought this place, the patio doors. And then we had one deck out there and was never using it because afternoon the sun would shine in there. It was so damn hot in the summertime when we had time to use it. It was and so we decided to tear that off and we put the three-season porch on there then and never used that neither. I turned stubborn because I figured we didn't need it and I wouldn't use it.
We were talking about trying to film you out there yesterday, but there wasn't very much space.
Uh-oh.
Where was that?
That was one of them trips we was on. I had to tap her on the head there. I didn't get any closer there, did I? Huh?
No.
Like that gal the other night at the restaurant.
She was crazy.
Let me see. That's up to Mary's. I can tell by this cabinet here.
Image 5.
Snickers. Mary's little pup that she had up there. She had a little while here. Them dogs always hate the UPS men and the mailman. Jesus Christ. They even hear the truck. There's the windows barking. That big dog that Chrissy's got now. Shit, you gotta grab a hold of his collar. You go right to a. I know one time I heard him and I closed the outside windows then. Hell, he'd have went right through that screen. I know he would have. That's one of our anniversaries too. I think that was probably our 35th anniversary, if I ain't mistaken. Oh, that's the one I took on our 50th anniversary in Oregon, down the Lenny's in the shop there.
Who's that?
And that's Ruthie, Charlene's sister. And those two don't talk at all. Well, she never really cared for her husband because he always made believe he had so damn much, you know. And oh, a couple of good-looking young chaps in blue suits. Didn't have to rent them tuxedos or anything anymore.
Those were blue?
Mm-hmm. I think his was a little bit darker than mine was. I'm not sure.
Who was he?
Marvin Lang. That other one that is him and his wife had a picture in the church there. I was too damn young to get married.
How old were you?
19.
When you got married, you were 19?
Yeah.
Wow. That is pretty young to get married.
I got 20 in January though, the same. I mean, Charlene was 19. She didn't get 20 until February. This is pretty nice. Oh, put your arms around, and then they're so damn short, you know. They got to give themselves a little boost to get you up to your shoulder height anyway, you know. Dance around with them coconut bras and.
Oh yeah. This is one of my favorite parts of Hawaii.
You'd get rain. I would say you get rain about every day of the week, you know. Mm-hmm. But it sometimes don't amount to much. Just enough to get the umbrellas out. And these people's this is that. I don't know who those are. That's me.
Not you?
Yeah, but I don't know who that is. Maybe I don't even know him.
Was that in Hawaii too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that had to be at
Lenny's
house, yeah.
The longer windows.
Yep.
Oh, this is Stan and I putting a new roof on his garage out in California. We was up there just about, we didn't have this much roof to put on, just a little corner here. And a woman that lived in the apartment next door, she says, could you guys wait until tomorrow to put that roof on? She says, this is Sunday morning. We like to sleep in on Sunday morning. So I had to quit with just that little roof left. Stan had to finish it himself.
Should have been like, well, we like to roof on Sunday morning.
It looks like Stan had quite a mustache there.
Oh, yeah, he always had.
He worked for a car dealership out there. I don't know if you knew that. And they had him set up to work daytimes. And he says, that's murder out there working daytimes because you're on this hot blacktop all day long. You know? And you don't think of that when you first take a new job, you know, unless you've talked to somebody that's in it. And that must be, it's got to be a Krister. Sure it is. I can remember that's kind of a black velvet on the back of the couch. And well, I never told you about the time I got hustled by a colored gal out in California, did I?
Yeah, when she... No, maybe you didn't.
Oh, geez, that was quite a... I was taking this guy for a walk because Christy would go on, go to work and we'd babysit in the daytime while she's gone. And God, I was pushing him in a stroller and I'd always go around the block or two. And he got on over on El Cajon Boulevard, I believe. And this nigger girl come out of the tavern there. And she says, only $10, only $10. That's the first shot. The next shot is the pills. And anyways, another guy come out, and an older fella, and him and I was just standing there talking. But at least this guy and I was standing there. Pretty soon she comes out of a kind of a donut and coffee shop across the street. And she come across then back to our side, and she says something to that effect anyway. And we says, no, we aren't interested. She says, for $10, you ain't interested? I says, nope. And the other guy says, I ain't interested. And she says, I'm going to follow you home, she says to me. Oh. By God, if she didn't. She followed me right down to the sidewalk, goes into their house. You're going to go home and tell Charlene that I'd propositioned her. Probably got a good dose of claps or something there, huh?
That's a good one.
That's where we're building the fence around this house yard out there.
Is that Stan?
Yeah, on the digger, post hole digger. And this is their whole backyard. And some Vietnamese lived in the just across the back. It's just a service road, like in the back part of this fence, and they'd get over the fence and steal stuff out of their yard and garage. They went away one time. They come back. Of course, she had left the girl. That's how they knew somebody had sold it, because she went looking for it and never did find it in all their moves. So.
I remember hearing about them getting robbed.
Yeah, that was it. They stuffed right out of the garage. And the garage would have been off here. This would have been on the other side of the street there or something, yeah. Must, because the garage would have been off here. That's where Kevin laid his hands right on top of a girl. Was trying to head going with the hot dogs or hamburgers or something, and he walks up to it. He's just starting to walk, and they had a pool in their yard for wading pool for the little one. And by gosh, he didn't reach up there, but they got cold water in it right away, never even blistered.
Wow.
That must be me taking a nap.
I remember that couch.
We had it in the living room, but I don't know where. Out to the farm. I don't know who's had it since it was in here, evidently, because. No, yeah. And patio doors, ain't they? No. Sure.
That's the windows out there. Ain't it?
Did hear, you mean?
Out there in the living room.
Yeah,
Isn't this
yeah. Because I got a crank out there. And there's Kevin and me. And Kevin and me.
And again. Used to tease us so bad when we were kids.
Who did?
You did.
No. That farm we was on, that's the building that I put there after the barn burnt, and Denise was out. She's going to jump down through that doorway on the top of the hill. It was about 7-8 feet down to the cement floor and broke her arm and her wrist.
I remember that too.
I don't.
She was on crutches for a while there.
Yeah. Maybe she broke a leg, I don't know. But there wasn't much crying or anything going on. I don't know if they're trying to hide it from me or what.
I remember that was kind of a cool looking picture just because it looks like it got double exposed.
Mm-hmm. That's when he lived in town, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Over by the schoolhouse yet. I don't know where that dog come in at. That house looks familiar.
The one in the background?
Yeah. That in there looks familiar, like the one standing next to the one they had.
Jim.
So this is my mother. That's the fat one that worked up the shipyards. And this is the one that got the job of sweeping parking lots. And this is the one in aircraft. And this guy here is my mother's half brother. And he was a farmer for a while, and then I don't know what he done when they moved to Poinette. But a bunch of slim ones, except for that one on the end.
Those were all her brothers?
Yeah, this in here, I say, was her half brother. See, that was a 3-family deal. It was your kids, my kids, and our kids. And my mother and these 3 here were the family, the one family, and Ma was the baby of that family. But then there's some other ones, and Knutson is one of them, and Campen was another one, and last night. So this is that one that her first husband had the farm on in Minnesota, but I don't know who he is. This is. Let's see, this is one of my brothers too. And this must be that's my dad. This would be Uncle Art. Yeah, he's the one that swept the parking lots. And this is his son, and this is me. He always wanted to wrestle with me here. And we had a part of a haystack, about 3 feet left in the haystack, and he wanted to wrestle. So we got up there, and he was no match at all. You can imagine living in town and then come out with me with them extra pounds on me, and his mother and dad and sister, they're all dead. And this is the wife of this other little short fat one that was over here. That's his wife, and they would come up here now and then. I mean, when we lived on the farm out there, they'd come up. And this is that Knutson's wife, and this is that Stan, the younger kid. That's his mother. Mm-hmm. And this must have been, I was going to say Lutefisk's time, but there ain't any snow on the ground there neither. There. It's the first tractor my dad bought.
That's your dad up there?
No, that's me and my dog.
What was the dog's name?
I don't know. Lucky I remember my own. But that we had to crank by hand. There was no starter on it, and it had a magneto. And boy, if that thing died on you, you couldn't get it started. It's just have to wait until the magneto cooled off. And them rubber tires weren't on it when he bought it. He bought it in a farm auction for, God, I don't know, $135 or something like that.
The whole tractor?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then he went and had them tires put on because of the sand with them spade lugs on it. That's why they'd bury themselves quick, you know. And so I'd get out there with hooked on the disc or the plow or something. There's that cousin of mine that thought he could beat the shit out of me in a haystack. And that's the other one is me. And there's Buster, my dog. Folks had him castrated. And nights, if you let him out and didn't pay much attention to him, he'd kind of wander away. And he'd come, just leave him there all night then outdoors in the summertime there. He'd come home with a split ear or some goddamn thing, because they fight pretty easy after they've been castrated. They all think they're fighting over the same thing. Mm-hmm. When they're done, they wonder what for. Try to teach those guys a little something on the way, you know. That's our little horse. That was kind of speedy. I mean, he could get her on a trot now and then. I'd ride her. Take more time walking out in the pasture and try to get the three of them home so I could get her.
That was on your dad's farm?
Yeah, the one on the hill, yep. My overhaul legs, like see how we roll them up, then when we go in the house or something, we'd have roll them down, empty the hay chaff out of them. And there's our three brothers.
That's that pudgy guy?
Yeah.
I got you.
And then he bought a little house in San Pedro, and they needed a new roof on it, so his son-in-law was some carpenter of some kind, I guess. Anyways, when you're roofing a house and going at it with that many people, well, you never get down on your knees, you know. You stand up and bend over and get the... And I guess he got pretty sore and tired by the time they got the roof on that house. But, I mean, it was a job that he wasn't used to. He was used to working around. And his wife worked in the place over here on 51 where Halverson's eating place is. You've probably seen that advertised. There used to be a little shed across the road from that, and they used to fold up parachutes in World War II. But this guy's like your brother. He ended up in prison. But he stole chickens in the Depression. Hell, they didn't have anything to eat any place, no money to get any. You get caught stealing chickens. Which, well, I mean, back then it was something, you know, but nowadays somebody steal a chicken, why we wouldn't take them to court for it, I don't suppose.
Probably wouldn't even care.
No.
It was a chicken like $5.
It's Connie again. The two of them. That was a pistol, try to get them ready for June of 57. Ready for church or something, because they'd always be combing their doll's hair, and they'd take the comb and they'd forget where they laid it down, never put it back, you know. And we getting all ready for church except combing up their hair. Well, where's the comb? I don't know. We'd be walking around looking for it, and they'd be following us.
Probably got the comb in their hand.
No, down between Davenport cushions or something, I think it was. Now who we got? That must have been, nope, I was going to say that must have been out in California too, but it ain't.
1973.
somebody's sunglasses up there. I don't know. It looks almost like Kevin, but I don't know where it is. Because he had a pair of sunglasses like that because the sun shines pretty bright through them windshields when you're sitting in the back seat of a car anyway.
Where was that taken?
That was a farmhouse where we had before we moved up here. No, it was a farmhouse on my dad's farm. I think, oh, close enough. I think that was the second TV we had. It might have been the first TV we had because I know we had one that was a combination deal. Was record player and TV and radio.
Who's that guy?
I don't know. Oh, I bet you that's Daniel Elmer. I was just halfway glancing. I thought it was Jim, but second glance it ain't. Some kid's birthday party too. This is Christy's friend and Connie and Lenny, and I don't know who the heck she is.
Is the anniversary again?
Mm-hmm.
Your parents' anniversary?
And there's that one back there you didn't know who was, see? And his sister, Cassie and Daniel.
Was that at your farm?
No, that was the one we bought because it's got the rounded archway and the door to the. This is a door that goes. No, that's the one that goes upstairs. This is a closet. Over in here is a nude beach. Because Harry was with us, and no, Stan and I was over there and had a pair of binoculars, but you couldn't bring it in close enough with that, the ones I got. He says, "There you are. Over there's a nude beach." I tried to get a hold of a picture of that, but I couldn't. He's closer to a new. This is that couple we went up where the Mount St. Helens. They had that house. We had to stay there overnight, and the next morning when we got up, he was sitting at the kitchen table with a deck of cards in his hand, ready to play euchre. Stayed there and had breakfast there, and took us all for dinner. I was so glad to see somebody from Wisconsin out there, I guess. Oh, this is the couple we went to Nashville with. Oh, went to Mount Pleasant, Iowa with them to that antique tractor show too. Jesus Christ, well, your pants are getting kind of sand there. Break down by our new pair of you. There they are again.
Oh.
You found that one, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Shows up pretty good there. You really blew that one up nice.
Actually, the sky was a lot grayer than that.
Oh, yeah?
I actually went in and blued up the sky a little bit in this one.
Yeah, but I'm more recognizable there. I was just trying to figure out the furniture end of it, but I can't. But this thing here looks like some kind of an antique here. And I know we had one at one time, and we got it through some of Charlene's relations, and we gave it to Janie after her mother died because we figured whether they want to be in housekeeping, why they could use some extra furniture, and being it was her dad's mother, I guess, is where it originated. Don't that look like a desk here?
That ain't your mom's old desk.
Well, we headed out to the farm up on the hill there for a while, sitting between the bathroom door and the living room door. And that's what I was thinking. This side here, I don't know if this just cabinet with drawers in it or something here. Our little tatty. Kirsty would always take it out the barn. She'd have one of the zipper sweatshirts. Take it out the barn when she come home from school, do the wash up the milk machines in the bulk tank. She'd put that dog down her sleeve, take it out to the milk house because it didn't have any hair. Mexicans. This must have been one of our trips someplace. I don't know where. That was in
71. And that's your dad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that Taffy?
Yep.
That same dog?
Yep. That's Jim. Jim and yeah, I want to say that's Janie. It could be, because that could be Christy, huh?
Could be.
If this is Janie, that's them two. There ain't only about a month difference in age in them. And then, but Jimmy looks kind of oversized for them too. That was taken in 80, you say? No,
62.
62. Well, it could be Christy on there because Jimmy was born in 59. And to 62, that'd only be four.
If he was in 59, he'd be 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
This is supposed to be January, too. But
Oh, yeah.
It looks pretty nice out for January.
Summer coats on. And that's Christy and Janie, Leona's daughter, and Grandpa Keen is slugging his mouth.
So he was a chewing tobacco man,
Yeah.
huh?
And cigar smoker, I think. I think he was. Ooh, what was this other one back?
back?
Yeah. That was on a boat when we was going across Lake Michigan on the car ferry.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretending I was heaving.
Oh, that's you?
Yeah.
Is that you?
No, that's Roger Truex. I suppose that's Roger and Janie. Yeah. He's got arthritis so bad and what else? Oh, diabetes. He lives up at Minocqua. He got married when he's quite old, and he married a gal, and I don't know, she had something to do with the telephone company, and now she got to stay home and take care of him because them sores in the bottom of his feet keep this here and this here. Charlene's aunts, I guess, they're his aunts, and these are brother-in-laws. This could be a brother. That might be one of the brothers. They lived in Monroe. This guy here's the one that put the kerosene in the radiator in his car when it overheated, and he tried to hide from the cops.
Was that at the farm?
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out where. Might have been over by the, I don't know. Where it was taken. Not at this farm, I don't think. These were taken down the Albany there. No. They were taken up here because them was the two kittens that kept trying to crawl on top of that toilet that's sitting out there. Mary tried to keep trying to get him down there. They're heavy drinkers. Here's your buffet.
Oh, yeah. What was that guy's name again?
Roy.
Roy?
Roy Mormon, yeah.
Your brother-in-law?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's the first and only time I can remember my dad ever give my mother a kiss.
Oh, yeah?
Then on their close to their 25th, 30th anniversary, something like that. So that's why I'm so not very lovey.
Oh. That's why you're so kissy?
Yeah.
She looks pretty happy.
Yeah. Probably because she's so damn surprised. Hey, mixing this up. Drink. It's my uncle's wife from Minnesota again, and it looks like, I don't know, Karen? Looks like it could be Karen, but she's the youngest one of the, no, she ain't either. This is the youngest one of the family, if that's it. That was taken in August or something.
Looks like 57, maybe?
Mm.
Let's see.
Somebody else's birthday party, huh?
Mm.
Or some kind of a sleep-in over, or whatever they call them.
Do you know what this was? The cemetery shot?
That was just one we took on one of our trips. It was an old-fashioned one, all them old tombstones, and just outside of here along the road was a babbling brook, and we had to stop and walk in there see what that was like, and that's when she took that picture. That don't mean nothing as far as family,
I got you.
family life.
I couldn't tell what exactly it was.
There's Taffy. Me and Lenny.
Was this out at the farm then?
Yeah, that's the.
In Stoughton here?
Yeah. If I'm mistaken, it was a confirmation dinner or something. I took the kids and a couple of my dad's aunts up here to this restaurant up the corner up here on Chalet Drive. Took them out for dinner. Oh, such a bunch. Oh. Looks like she's pumped about something. And Connie looks like she ain't got any meat under them bones. Oh, under the skin, I mean. Jimmy must be missing some teeth. I think that was when he lived at the farm, and he had his birthday cake on top of the refrigerator, and he climbed up on his high chair to get some of the frosting off him, I guess, and he fell and put a hole in the wall with his head. Nobody told us about it because they hung something over the hole, so we didn't notice it right away. It looks like he's missing some teeth, though. Maybe that ain't no cake in there yet that ain't been cut. With some dolls there and rocking horse and ball and stroller back there.
You know who that is?
Yeah. That was when he was on my dad's farm, and that's must be the refrigerator that his cake was on. He climbed the high chair there. But it's right there, it's sitting too far away from the refrigerator to be of that kind of refrigerator. But it's me, and I just would like to say it's Connie, but there's too much hair on there for Connie at that age.
Right, probably Lenny then. Huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There. And Lenny's got that high chair down to her place.
Does she?
Mm-hmm. And Tiki was the one I ate many meals off him.
Really?
Yeah. That's me.
That's you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think his folks lived in Madison at that time on Williamson Street. You know, and they've got a tin tray in here, you know, so you can, easier to clean up and stuff afterwards than around them wooden corners all the time. And Chris's baby, she just likes to get a metal spoons or something and beat out of that tin tray. That's where Mom was in high school, and her and 2 or 3 other girls decided they wanted to go camping, and some boys found out about it, and when they got all set up, they come and scared the shit out of them and knocked the tent down and everything. Somebody must be tangled up in a rope or something, huh?
I think this is just a scratch in the picture.
You think so?
Yeah, this is just a scratch.
Seems like it's pulling on her leg there.
Yeah.
He used to have a basketball court, basket and pole there. Someplace in there. I don't know just where the hell that is.
Is that Grandma?
Yeah.
Weren't she saying something about that stroller the other day?
Yeah, he says there's a little difference in the type of strollers you get nowadays and what that kind they put up with. This is my cousin in California. Her husband was a Santa Claus in the department store out there. Mm-hmm. And his partner, they always run 2 of them together in a truck, and her husband was off that day, and no, he wasn't. He was working. The other guy had off, and they had a substitute on him. And the other guy run over her husband. He didn't kill him outright, but it made it so he would have been a vegetable, the doctor said when they come. But this is a house she lives in out in California, San Pedro. But it just seems to me that there's hole in the garden. Oh, that's Chris down to Christie's? Sure, that's the house next door to Christie down. This here looks like it is her garden spot. Mm-hmm. Know what that is? Sugar cane.
Where's that at?
Hawaii. This is her and her husband are the ones we went out there with. Boy, we come down off in the mountain there. What's that big one? Big mountain that blew along.
Not the volcano?
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called. On the Big Island?
Yeah. I don't know which one's big. I didn't see any of them from there.
Well, the Big Island is the one with the volcano.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, the black smoke down below, it says, uh-oh, a fire, and the bus driver never slowed up a bit. Come to find out there's burning off the sugar cane. And then he got up a little farther, and there was he says, uh-oh, got a washout. So when the hell did it rain enough here to have a washout? It was some woman had her clothes hanging out on the line down along the road. Here we are. A case. This is that other couple from who worked in Dane County Highway Department, her husband. And I went down there. Then we went down once or twice afterwards. But of course, Slim Whitman, did you ever hear him?
Mm-hmm. I've heard the name.
He played, and it didn't cost you anything. You can grandstand, but you had to get there early to get a good seat. Christ, I don't know how long we stood in the line. I'd done that so many times, I don't know. And they had a place down there where they made sawed veneer lumber out of logs. They'd have them dry, and then they'd take them, dump them in water to kind of loosen it up a little, the bark. And they had a regular old saw to saw it into lumber. Ooh.
Grandma and the bear. Probably somewhere, eh?
That, the mother tractor, yeah, that'd be down that Mount Pleasant, Iowa deal down there. There's, is that Mary's wedding? There's one of the girls that was quite a hat person. And I was dancing and I just reached over and took it off on him when I got close enough. So, ooh, look at them hot rodders there. Mom looks like she's kind of halfway bending at the knees.
I think that was Daphne's wedding, because I'm pretty sure that's either me or my brother back there.
That could be. That was up at the Pittsburgh Town Hall.
You remember getting that?
Mm-hmm.
When did you get that?
In high school. Right where them other ones at the year Jim and, not Jim, Dickie and Bill. There's, I suppose it's about the same year anyway.
Patch underneath your eye.
This here one,
This one?
them their end tables were given by the neighbors and people in Stoughton that knew us. They gave us two of them. They're sitting right in there now for a shower present for when we got married. So they've held together pretty good.
Whoa.
Yeah, it looks like she had contact on one of them was laying down on her cheek. I don't know what the heck that is. Looks like a slice of toast here.
Yeah. Or an ashtray.
There's Mom and Dad. That's the house that Dad built in Madison. That's the kind of bushes I wanted to get started here, but I don't seem to have much luck with it.
You dress pretty sharp.
Yeah, that's the way I had to dress the first day of school when I started first grade. I didn't have to go to kindergarten because my birthday is too late in the year, and so I had to, or too early, one or the other. So I'd always have to wear, I had to that day, white shirt, white pants, white belt, no, black belt. He's still got a little hair across the top there, though. Yeah, he always dressed pretty sharp. I used to, but I kind of slackened off here. Hell, I says they're gonna put different ones on me when I die anyhow. What the hell? Ooh, that's out here.
Yep, out back.
Ooh, this is a couple we went to Germany, Austria, and Italy, and Switzerland. Yeah, this, him and her husband and wife, and her husband must have been taking the pictures. And they all were big in education. I mean, one of them was a principal of a school down in Des Moines, Iowa, and the other one was some bigger teacher. Oh, there we are. Got my bottle of Schlitz. There's my Japanese. She found a mate there. Oh, these are some people who were in that group that we went to Germany with. I think her husband, this one's husband, was in World War II, and he got hit in the elbow with a shot. And this arm, they were able to shorten it up somehow so that he could still have quite a bit of his use for it. Anyway. Oh, there's where we went fishing out Lake Michigan. Jim Shirley. Jim, or was that her that got must have been her the way she's tugging on that. No, Jim's tugging on one out there, ain't he? Mm-hmm. And then she couldn't get hers landed, so Jim took over and landed it for her.
Was it a muskie?
No, brown trout, I think.
Oh, yeah.
They put up quite a fight. There, we went on a covered wagon.
Where was that taken?
Right off the bed, I can't think of it. I think it's Dollywood, if I'm not mistaken. That's your mother?
Looks like her.
Oh, Charlene's really giving her orders. Oh, she was pretty good at that. Let me see. These are them people from Alaska too. Not Alaska, Washington, Mount St. Helens. Him and her. Yeah, this is a tree that was washed out. The size of that tree. And there was a couple that had built a new cottage. There was next to the bed there, where that truck is, there was a kind of a path for the trucks to run. And then there was a road, and then there was quite a bankment, and then there was another road. And that volcano, when it exploded, it filled that ditch, that road there, and up above the other road and into that new cottage that was built. It went as high, the mud or whatever it was, filled up a bathtub and a sink and the bathroom and all in that new house. And the people just happened to not be home. That was one of the memorable ones we went. Boy, at that time, there wasn't any green shrubbery around in that thing. That was all laying flat.
I think my parents have a little jar of ash from Mount St. Helens at home somewhere. It was Daphne's wedding.
How do you know?
Oh, I was there.
Oh, I see.
I remember you two.
Where was Daphne's wedding? Oh, up at that church, American.
Yep.
Here's the cave we went in, down in Nashville, I think. The bats were just wild in hell, but that other woman there, I don't recognize her. You want to see some bats, you ought to go down to Nashville, not Nashville. Where is it? Yeah. No? Anyways, there's a big cave down there, and the bats are so thick in there that they're coming at you from all directions, and the floor is so covered with rat shit that you can't hardly stand the smell in there. Oops, excuse me. Must be somebody's birthday.
In July '64.
There's Charlene at her aunt's is feeding chickens. They want them in Pauline and Bill. His folks has had that farm. Oh.
All dressed up. You going somewhere?
I guess so. That's a different hairdo than she most generally had. I was just noticing this one.
That picture again.
That with them culverts on it there. It looks like culverts to me anyway.
This is after she graduated?
Well, just before, I think it must have been after she got her white cap. Huh? This is Kim, Jim's first wife's folks. So that must have been Becky or somebody in there.
I knew I recognized those two from somewhere.
And they're both dead.
A while ago.
I was trying to think of who the heck them was. No.
Those are Jeremy's family.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
That must be Samantha.
It was taken at that restaurant or something down in Janesville. Or here we are again. That's Marlon and Ella, my cousin from Rockford, and her husband, Mon. This is Jim. So Kim must have been taking the picture.
Is that your 50th?
Oh, let me see. You got no ear or anything on that one, did you?
This was at that restaurant. This was
In Stoughton?
I think so.
Either here or McFarland.
Yeah.
It looks to me like it could have been in Stoughton because
Oops, sorry.
that's the Class A motorhome that we went to California the first time we went. In 74. 74, would that be 25 years for us? And we got married in 49. That's one.
Yeah.
No.
49. Yeah, that would be about 25 years.
The neighbors up the road and us rented that together and drove out there. And she thought they was going to stop when I was camping and driving, have roast chicken on a goddamn vehicle moving down the road. There's me on something. Hill, was that?
Is there a John Deere of some sort?
Yeah, but it don't. Oh, the combine, I bet you. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, that's about it. That's
yeah.
all I got.
That's all you got. Yes, picture time is over then.